Hello, and how are you this evening? Hope you're doing great. I certainly am. Let me tell you about Go Thunk Yourself. This was a book I wrote about 6 years ago, became a book series. I set out from the get-go to determine if there were a common system of self-help that underlay all of the successful self-help programs that exist. Now, by successful self-help, I mean something that has existed beyond its original founder, because as you may and I have seen, many of these successful groups don't do well after their founder leaves, because it's based on their founder's own personal charisma for the whole thing to succeed. But at the same time, you're saying, can somebody improve themselves? Can somebody help themselves to a better life? I narrowed down to these self-help books, and there were perhaps 14 of them or so. And then in those self-help books, I read them all thoroughly, studied them, and compared what parts of these, what did the authors say that kept saying the same thing. What I did out of this, narrow down about 14 points, which were consistent, and if taken together as a system, would work, would improve, would result in definite personal improvement if you applied them exactly. So you have 14 days of programming, of self-programming that you do. Now, the book covers these points, and I'll list them briefly here. The first day we take up reason, which is why you do something, a need to change, something to shoot for. You've got to have a reason to do something like this. Why are you trying to improve anything? Why don't you just sit back and get some more DVDs or watch TV or go to a football game? But if you want to improve something, you have to figure out what it is. The next point, day 2, is think. You can think for yourself. A lot of people don't want you believing this point, especially Madison Avenue car salesmen. You're to sit there and just swallow what all they have to say. Politicians fall into this, some universities, if not all of them. So the whole point here is that you can think for yourself, you can change your mind. And that brings the third point is, on day 3, we covered change. A person can change his own attitudes. Any person down the street, she can decide that she's going to feel good that day, she's going to feel bad that day, but her attitudes are under her own control. The 4th day states that mind, the surrounding environment, is a result of the mental environment. Now, I wrote this years before The Secret came out, but here's what you see, the same point. Napoleon Hill stated this thing with Earl Nightingale championed, which was, you become what you think about. The Secret, with the law of attraction, says the same point. Resulting environment around you is a result of your mental environment. What you think creates your environment around you. Now, day 5, achieve. Personal control is possible over being, doing, achieving, and acquiring. You can decide and choose and get anything you want. You have personal control over what you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to achieve or acquire in your own life. It's your choice, not somebody else's. On day 6, we go over positive. Emphasis on a positive outlook on life, eliminating critical thought and behavior. Positive and negative in this universe is really kind of a funny thing. It's like light. If you go into a dark room, you don't just get a big shovel and start shoveling out the dark and then it will fill up with light. No, you just turn on a light, you light a candle, flashlight, all of a sudden you got light. A negative is more the lack of a positive than it is anything else. People run on hate, but that's only after they've failed to run on love. I'm sure you've seen somebody that they can diffuse a tense scene with a smile and a good joke. If you emphasize the positive outlook in your own life, eliminate the critical thought and behavior, you're going to be able to change far more in your life and for the people around you than you commonly thought or commonly allowed to believe. Day 7 is the golden rule. You got to have an underlying moral and or ethical understanding to have a base for self-help. The golden rule is not limited to Christianity. It's found in every major religion on the planet, every single one. Every major philosophy have this. But if you really look at it, you see why it works. If you can control your mind, and your mind creates your environment, and we are all connected in this universe of ours, then what you do and say and your approach to others will come right back to you and will affect your life. So the more you put into this system, the more you get back. Day 8 is vision. Visions are composed of hopes and dreams. They create reality. That now you then start forming a worldview for yourself, a vision of what you'd like to achieve, what you want out there, what you'd like to have show up in your life. And so you build this vision. That's the point. You have your vision, you put it out there, hold on to it, get it going. And that's where we get going is day 9, action, putting plans into effect that will achieve one's vision. Joe Vitale says, look, when you get the inspiration, when you get the thought, the idea pops in your head, act. The universe loves speed. Once you have your vision, you have to create a plan. You have to execute the plan. You may revise that plan, lots, but you have a vision and you put plans out there and start working on it. You get some nudge, go for it. That's the whole point. Now, day 10 is faith. Faith is self-generated, self-created. But the point of, like, you have faith in gravity, that gravity works. You have faith in how the solar system is set up because you think the sun rises every morning. And you know that if it really gets cloudy, it's going to rain. This is really a low-level certainty, which is what faith is. Similarly, if you have faith in somebody else, you know they'll come through for you, and they do. And so that's what you do. You have faith, that you can generate your own faith. Day 10, affirmation. Affirmations can be used to strengthen faith and achieve your vision. Affirmations are constantly derided because people didn't understand how they worked or how to use them. If you write this thing on a card of what you want, and you affirm to yourself that it's there, that you have that right in your life, that's the way you be, that's the way you are, that's what you want to achieve, that's what your steps to do this are, that stuff becomes true, it becomes real, it takes effect in the world around you. Day 12, power through prayer. Belief in a supreme being or higher power, tapping into one's relationship with a supreme being increases one's own abilities and power. All through these books, by all these different names, there is a commonality, a common point, where everybody believes there is some sort of supreme being, supreme power out there. And by tapping into this or communicating with this higher power, you get inspiration. It strengthens your faith that you can then generate the faith and the power you need to achieve and do and be whatever you need to in your life, whatever you've decided you want to change, you want to improve. That supreme being will help you. Day 13, peace. Peace of mind is attainable through self-control. This is probably the most underwritten chapter in this book. This book is designed to be very simple, easy to read, easy to apply. But there is a massive amount of personal gain that can be achieved by your acquiring your own peace of mind and being able to independently and on your own volition instill that in yourself anytime you want. Day 14, last day, mastermind. Surround yourself with people around you who think as you do. The composite mind will achieve the composite vision shared. Any group is far more powerful than the individual within it. By surrounding yourself with people who think as you do, who share your vision, it makes it become reality. These people then work on that composite vision of what they want. It's very simple. Now that was the 14 days in a nutshell. The book goes into far more details. At the end of every chapter, there are exercises that you should do faithfully that day to give you an overview, to get you kind of lined up with self-help, see how things go, see how it works for you. I'm not one of these that goes, this is the only way it is. This is the most successful program in the history of the universe. No. I'm just pointing out, look, here's some stuff that keeps showing up all over the place. And so I give you this book with the idea that you can do something to improve your life. And this is where it became a series of 4 books which really cover everything you have to do in order to change your life completely. And it gives it all over to you as a responsibility of things. But I wanted you today to get an overview of this, Go Thunk Yourself, so I can let you know that, look, check out the book. It's on Lulu. You can see the preview. Go through the book all online if you want to. It'll soon be showing up on Amazon.com. There are no limits to what you can achieve and do, and no limits to what your personal power you can have, all the money you want, improved health, the job you ever wanted, anything you want to attract in your life. This will help you with your law of attraction. This will help you improve anything you want in your life. And I do wish you the very best for the rest of your life. Thank you.